One of the biggest things that Nintendo communicated to us about the Switch 2 during the Direct was its social nature, how much they are pushing social features. And can I pat myself on the back for kind of predicting this? I did this whole Switch 2 idea video, and in that, it was all about connecting with people, and there was even a camera so that you could see your face and your reaction while you're playing. I don't know, though. To me, that just seemed like a natural evolution. It seemed like the next logical step for Nintendo to just really fully embrace the whole social aspect. At the same time, though, I had a lot of people telling me that that would never happen, so maybe a little pat? I don't know. And is it cringe to always bring up when I am potentially right about something that I predicted? Very, very possibly. But yeah, Switch 2, it's all about connecting with friends, and that C button, that darn C button. C stands for chat. There it is. It's not connect, it's not cast, it's not cursor, it's chat. It is just a built-in party chat system, which is, I have not played a lot of multiplayer games. I don't really spend a lot of time talking with people, so I'm never as quite aware of all of the different features and whatnot that people are hoping for. But I do know that some sort of really good built-in chat system, party system, that has been something that people have been wanting for a very, very long time. And it looks like Nintendo is just giving it. I don't know if I'm missing something here, but this really just seems like Nintendo just doing the thing that everyone wanted and doing it pretty darn well. I mean, the fact that you've got a button right there on the controller. You are never more than a button press away from connecting with your friends and talking with each other and playing together. And that really just says something about Nintendo's whole strategy, doesn't it? But basically, the Switch 2 has a built-in microphone. Apparently, it's, very software, what's the word? Enhanced. It can pick up the sound and mess with it to make it better. It can pick up from a distance, so even if it's in the dock across the room over by the TV, it can still pick you up. I still don't know how that would work. I feel like the room ambience has to affect it quite a lot, but whatever. It can apparently remove background noise, so that's cool. The Switch 2 does not have a built-in camera. I really, when I did that concept prediction video, I really did think it would, and I really do feel like there has to have been a time when Nintendo was considering it, because it would be perfect, wouldn't it? Especially right there on the system, and my whole idea was an open-faced dock so that the camera could still see you even when you're across the room, and that kind of is what they're doing now. It's just not built into the Switch. There's going to be a separate camera. I did also predict that, didn't I? I guess I figured so that if you were playing docked, so that it wouldn't have to try to reach you, you could plug it in somewhere close to you or something. I don't know. It's my video and I barely remember. But in my prediction, that was kind of a separate option. Here, that really is the only way to capture yourself when you're playing. Which, I think it probably did just come down to cost. They just didn't want to put a camera on the thing because that would make it a little bit more expensive. So this is a little bit of an awkward solution, having to buy an extra camera. It just would have been nice to have it right there, built into the system. But at the same time, if you're playing online with your friends, maybe you're less likely to be playing handheld anyway, more likely to be sitting in front of a TV. So there you go. Why not have a camera? And so if you're not using the camera, you're just using the microphone. It's Discord. It's basically just Discord. You can even shrink your screen and see your friends at the bottom. It shows a person playing with a number of friends. So that's already pretty cool. Built-in voice chat with a built-in microphone, so that even if you are, playing on the TV with a Pro controller and the Switch is over in the dock, apparently I still don't know how good it's gonna sound. We might want to get our own headsets anyway. But that is really cool that you can just do that out of the box. But it really is the camera thing. That really is a big deal. And again, the camera seems to be kind of enhanced by the built-in software. I kind of thought that in a case where you were that far away from the camera, it would be just too weird, like too difficult to see your face, but I didn't even consider how they could make it so that it can track your face. It can track your image, and it's pretty cool. It can show the entire image, or it can just cut out your body, or your head, like streamer style. So it's like green screen, where it's just putting you against the game. And it seems that it does all of this automatically. You probably don't even have to. Maybe you can adjust it. Maybe it depends on the game. Maybe each game has a part of the screen that it puts you. I don't really know. But then also you can choose to just have the face in like a little circle. And I mean, Nintendo has played with funny little face stuff in the past. The 3DS especially had some funny stuff. But like this is big. This is a really cool thing. It shows you put the face circle, you can use it in Mario Kart or whatever, but it shows it in Mario Party Jamboree. And being able to have like these actual like real-time reactions, being able to see the actual faces of your friends, but they're always in the right spot on the screen. And it shows someone like when you can see like the look on their face when they win. And I imagine that a game could probably play replays and whatnot, like just really capturing reactions. Again, something I predicted. Yes, a little bit. Come on. Yeah, I'm patting my back a little bit. It's a very Nintendo-y thing. It's a very just playful thing. They've always been about people playing games together, and now, less and less people are able to play games in the same room together. More and more people are playing online with their friends, so they want to replicate that experience as much as possible. So like, yeah, seeing your friends' faces in these funny little moments, that's really got to do wonders for just the feeling of like togetherness when you're playing, like that's cool. But we'll talk more about the larger implications later. But yeah, it seems to all just be like automatic. It can just kind of like track your face wherever you are and just kind of do it. Just kind of put it there. I guess it's another one of those things where they didn't really want to do it until they could do it really right. And they really do seem to be doing a lot right here. Screen sharing. That's so cool. You have the option to see the screens of all of your friends, not only when you're playing the same game, but when you're just playing any old game. You can all just be playing separate games, and you can see what they're doing at any time. And it's optional. You can, there's a lot of options for changing the size of your screen and their screen, and you can blow up theirs if you want to see it better. And like, yes, of course, it's choppy, It's a little bit rough. And, is that a little disappointing? Sure. But like, I mean, I get it. It's a lot of data, it's a lot of data being streamed, as a person with a history of not always the best internet. It's pretty good now, but I didn't used to have good internet. So like, there is a limit to how much data can be transferred. And I don't know if this is the kind of thing that would get better with a better connection. I figure if they're showing it this way here, they're advertising it this way, that means that this is probably the best it's gonna get. I hope it doesn't get much worse. But if it's just this, if it's just that, like what we see here, I'd say it's good enough. Like, sure, I wish it were better. Maybe in future systems it can be better, but I do feel like it's good enough. It's not about like watching your friend Let's Play style. It's more about like just sharing in moments. You're especially if you're like playing a game together, it's just kind of like getting an idea of what your friend is doing at any given time. And it's just enough visual information to talk about stuff. And I just think that's great. I just think that is really cool, even if it is kind of rough. If it's at least as good as we see here, I'm pretty okay with that. So like, there's just so many options, between like the screen sharing and the faces, whether it's like streamer style or actually like in the circles, like integrated into the games. I mean, like there's so many ways to do it. There's so many ways that a game can do it, and you have a lot of options to make it comfortable for you. And then yeah, like this little reveal shows how well it integrates with Mario Kart and Mario Party. Both really, really great examples, because in Mario Kart, you have this one big shared world. So you have this more free-form cooperative experience where people are just kind of exploring. They're giving each other tips and, oh, like, come over here, look at this. Like, it's really cool, and there's like camera mode and everything. So like there's huge potential there. But then it's perfect, showing us Mario Party as well, like a competitive multiplayer thing where it's silly. Everybody's fighting everybody else, and sometimes it's co-op, and it's the craziness of Mario Party. We all love Mario Party, and it has been a decent thing with like streamers and whatnot. But now being able to see their faces, being able to display those faces anywhere, and just, I don't know, to capture those moments, it's just cool. There's just a lot of potential there for a lot of different games. And yeah, I do just have to say, I think it's amazing. I think it's really, really amazing. I think it's a game changer. I don't know. Seeing a person's face, that really does something, because it is true. A lot of us really do kind of have to rely on these online distant connections. But okay, not to go too deep into it, but like seeing another person's face is really important. And it is really great to have online friends, but like there are real chemical changes that happen in your mind, like oxytocin and whatnot, when you are in the same room with a person, when you look at a person's face, when you like look into their eyes. And this obviously isn't like a replacement for that, but it really does get you closer. Like I said, I don't play a lot of online stuff, but I'm imagining this, being able to actually see my friend in real time and see their face, just the way it's depicted here. I think it's marvelous. It makes me so much more eager to play online stuff with my friends. I just think it's a really big deal. And again, it really just says a lot about Nintendo's mindset and strategy going into this generation. And you know what? It probably does also say a lot about the games that they're going to produce. And I will say, there's like the scary side of this, because sometimes they'll make a game and I'm like, oh goody, I can't wait to play this game. And then they reveal like, oh, it's really made with multiplayer in mind. And that kind of can affect the experience in a way that a single player like myself might not like. It could mean that there's going to be a bigger emphasis on multiplayer games, and whenever they reveal a game and it's multiplayer, I'm just not interested. It's just me. I know everybody else likes multiplayer, but at least personally, that could be disappointing. So this could mean just more of that, more of me being like, grumbling about another multiplayer thing. But on the positive side, just look at a game like Mario Kart World. It is multiplayer, but the kind of experience that they're fostering here is so much more fluid, and it's not just about playing multiplayer. This idea, perhaps even this social idea itself, has influenced the design of the game and encouraged them to make this big, huge, seamless, interconnected world that you can explore at your leisure. And I think that's great. Multiplayer games where you're playing matches, sports games, party games, Mario Kart in its traditional forms. That's great in its own way. That's an excellent multiplayer experience that people really love. But this Mario Kart thing, this huge world, that's the kind of thing that I'm interested in. And I love the idea of Nintendo leaning more into those kinds of experiences, creating those kinds of just big experiences. It's got me thinking about a future Zelda that is multiplayer. It's got me, it's a shame they didn't reveal multiplayer mode in like Tears of the Kingdom Switch 2 edition, but it's got me imagining really big game worlds that, ideally are not designed just for multiplayer, but that can be enhanced through multiplayer. Now you have all these people exploring a world together. And of course, it's got me thinking about that like Switch online playtest thing that was apparently like a big, like Minecrafty MMO kind of thing. Can you imagine playing that, but it's got these great social features? And yeah, I don't know. It's not just about getting multiple people to play a game at the same time. It's about creating really inventive and interesting worlds to explore. The kind of thing that you might want to explore alone. That'll be just as satisfying to explore alone or with your friends. It's a different experience either way. So yeah, that is also kind of exciting. Just seeing what they've done with Mario Kart World and imagining what they could do with other games as well, what other kinds of experiences they could create. So I think it's a big deal. I think it's amazing. I think it's one of the coolest things to come out of the Direct. Games are cool, but like this really says a lot. And it is going to be only available to NSO members, but there is going to be a free period through March 31st next year. So we'll have close to a year for everyone to get in on it, and I do think that is very, very, very smart. I really, really do. You want to get people to experience it and love it and need more of it, because this does have the potential to like genuinely sell Switch 2s. It really does. I also want to point out it is funny because, you know, Nintendo has always been really scared of this stuff. It's taken them so long to get here, to the point where they're really comfortable letting people connect with each other, obviously because they want to protect kids and their family-friendly image, and you give people the ability to share things, and they're going to share things Nintendo doesn't want them to share. So I think it's really funny. They're finally doing this. They're finally opening the floodgates, giving us everything we want. But then, like, the last chunk of the video, it immediately, like, the section, the one specifically on GameChat, it goes right into parental controls. It goes right into this whole thing, the sequel to the Bowser and Bowser Jr. parental controls for the original Switch. And it's like, if you gotta control what your kids are doing and who they're talking to and what the camera can see, and here's all these ways that, I mean, it's cool. It's great to have the option. You can, enable or disable the camera, tell it exactly what the camera can see, and give you a little log of like who they're talking to. So obviously it's a great feature. I just think it's really funny that they made absolutely sure. They're like, don't worry though. We're gonna give you the ability to keep this as safe as possible. And also, last thing, I do want to give props for the 4 people showing off the chat features. Props for having perhaps the most realistic depiction of people playing a game together that I've ever seen in an event like this, especially from Nintendo. You know, not flawless, not perfect. I wasn't convinced that it was real, but it was a lot more accurate than we normally get. So props to those actors, and props to Nintendo for setting that up. So anyway, yeah, that's it. That's Nintendo Switch 2 Game Chat. I am excited to try it out. I gotta start playing games with friends. Really. It's really a thing that I need to make happen this generation, isn't it?